It's no secret, just about every young baseball player dreams about playing in the major leagues.
My mom's gonna be shocked.
Hello?
Mom, I just got called up.
Oh my goodness! Dan's here! Oh, I love you!
Well, in today's video, I'm going to share the story of Cole Young, a player that I had the pleasure of coaching who just made his major league debut. I'm going to share some thoughts on Cole as a player. I'm also going to share a couple clips from the podcast that I did with Cole, and all of it is designed to help young players understand the journey out ahead of you. If you have a dream to play in the major leagues, there's going to be a lot of great information in this video. So let's get to it right now.
And now, the most trusted name in all of youth sports, here's Coach Mark.
Hey, it's Coach Mark here, and you may not know this, but there was only one thing that kept me from playing in the big leagues: talent. I had the desire, I had the work ethic, but hey, God didn't give me the ability to play in the big leagues. But guess what? Some people do, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about one of them, Cole Young, a young player that I had the pleasure of working with his parents. And I did a podcast with him, and I called it First Grade to First Round. He was drafted in the first round by the Seattle Mariners, and he just got called up to the big leagues a couple nights ago. And in Cole fashion, hit the winning run in the bottom of the 11th inning. We'll talk about that in a little bit. In fact, you know what? Let me just show you the video that they had of Cole in his major league debut. Check this out.
And now the winning run is at third with one out. Cole Young today making his major league debut. One of the top prospects in baseball at the plate. The bottom of the 11th inning, a chance to win it for the Mariners. Sands comes set. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball, bouncing softly to the first base throw. Oh, not in time! It's a walk-off for the Mariners. Cole Young in his major league debut is showered with seeds and gum, and the water bucket in shallow right field. He has won it for the Mariners in the bottom of the 11th inning. Mastrobuoni scores 5-4 the final. Cole Young with a walk-off fielder's choice in the 11th, and the Mariners win it. Remarkable.
Now, how cool is that? You talk about a splash into the big leagues. Wow. But you know what? I want to go back and talk about Cole as a 12-year-old player when I was coaching him in Little League. We went to Cooperstown. You're seeing a picture right now of Cole up there. And I used to film Cole taking BP. Yeah, he was that good. So let's start right away. I never, ever want to discount talent. Okay. Cole was a kid that you could see had natural ability. He had hand-eye coordination. He would barrel the ball. And, you know, when I used to talk to him as a kid, who taught you to do that? And in reality, you know, he worked hard, but a lot of his ability was natural. You could just see he had a natural swing. He was a lefty stick, and, you know, he could barrel the ball better than almost every other kid his age. So why do I bring that up? Because sometimes talent really is obvious at an early age. You know, when I'm looking at new clients, I'm looking at their talent. That's what God gave them. There's things that kids do. They don't know how they do it. They just do it really well. Sometimes it's arm action. The ball just comes out of their hand different than most kids. Some kids have incredible hand-eye coordination. Some kids have natural running speed. Some kids just have natural strength. I mean, you shake their hands and you feel the strength in their hands. These are God-given abilities. So I don't want to ever discount that. But I will tell you, there are a lot of kids that have God-given abilities that make a lot of mistakes along the way, and they don't get where they want to go. Well, Cole Young was not one of those. First of all, he had great parents. He talks a little bit about his parents in the podcast that you'll see here coming up. I want you to hear how he describes his parents. And something else I want you to know about Cole. He was not a rah-rah kid. He played with energy, don't get me wrong, but he was not a super vocal kid. He wasn't a kid that was high-fiving everybody, running around, the energy of the dugout. He wasn't that kid. He was what I would call a quiet leader. You know, sometimes we think that every great player is this massive leader and everybody's rallying around them because they're the energy, and sometimes that is the case. But you could clearly see that Cole had what I call quiet leadership and quiet confidence. He was also a very humble young kid. You know, he would get embarrassed when I would call the team over, and I did this fairly routinely because I was trying to help the whole team learn how to do what Cole did naturally. Cole would come in and take BP, and he would hit 5 balls oppo, 5 balls up the middle, and 5 balls to pull side. That was our routine, but he would do it without missing a ball. Whereas other kids were missing balls and fouling balls, and when they're supposed to be, you know, hitting oppo, they're pulling the ball. And I would say, guys, if you want to see what this is supposed to look like, Cole, jump in here. And then he helped me invent a drill where I would throw the ball and tell him when the ball was in the air where to hit it. So I would do front toss, and I would say, oppo, boom, he'd hit it oppo. Oppo, boom, pull side, pull side. And he could do it routinely as a 12-year-old. So again, I never want to take away the natural talent, but his humility, his work ethic, his love of the game was all there, even at 12 years old. So, you know, I share those things with you because, you know, there are young kids out there that we want to spot their talent. We want to spot their love of the game, and we just want to help those kids through the journey and not make any catastrophic mistakes. You know, I see a lot of young, talented kids. They get really cocky. They get really arrogant. They get entitled. And it's because travel baseball, for example, you know, they kind of cater to those kids. And then I think about a kid like Cole Young. He wasn't any of those. I never remember him, you know, celebrating a home run, you know, crazy going around the bases, bat flips. He didn't wear all the garb. He didn't try to bring all the attention to himself. He was just quietly going about his business. I'm trying to give you some insight into who he was.
Okay, let's call my dad. Dad, Dad, I just got called up.
What? You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Wow, like Tony Mancini just texted me something. I go, no. Oh my god, Cole. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh, that is so great, Cole.
I know.
So wonderful. Oh my god,
Yeah.
thanks. Thank you for trying so hard. It's so good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I just wanted to call you.
In fact, let's take a break right now and let's watch a clip from the podcast that I did with Cole. So, Cole, when you were playing in those high school games and you knew there were scouts there, and a lot of them maybe you had met, were you thinking about, wow, I got to perform. I have to, because I'm asking this question for the young kids out there. You know, they may not have pro scouts watching them, but they might have college coaches watching them. Was there pressure on you that I can't strike out because there's pro scouts here? Did you think like that, or did you block it all out?
I mean, maybe a little bit at first, but like it really helps kind of starting like really early, because I started the college process and with US Elite when I was in like 7th or 8th grade. So like I've been performing with like college coaches or pro scouts and in front of my games. So like, I mean, it helps like doing it at a young age, just so you can just get used to it. So like during my spring, like, I mean, at first it was like weird. Like I want to impress them, but I mean, maybe the second or third game, I just kind of just played the game and didn't
Yeah.
really think too much of it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you got to do is just like to simplify everything and just be yourself, because like as soon as you try impressing other people, it's just gonna go downhill. You're not gonna be yourself.
That's great stuff. Wouldn't you agree? And in this podcast, I asked Cole about dealing with failure, and I want you to hear his answer right now. I'm trying to always think about these young kids out there that want to be like you. I'm sure, well, I heard that you only struck out 5 times in 100 and some at bats. So you didn't strike out very much, but there are kids that they strike out and think, I'm not getting a scholarship, or I'm not getting drafted now. I threw one over the first baseman's head, so I'm not going to get drafted. What I think a lot of kids don't understand is no matter how talented you are, you're still going to make mistakes. Can you talk a little bit, we always talk about the game of failure, baseball, it's, well documented, but how do you handle the failure, quote unquote failure of striking out or making an error? What is your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, like handling failure is just the biggest part of the game. Like if you can't do that, then you're just gonna keep failing.
Mhm.
I mean, like you just gotta want to just bounce back. Like you can't just be like, oh my God, I suck because I struck out. Like if you keep telling yourself you suck, then you're gonna keep sucking. It's just
Mhm.
like you gotta just have a positive mindset and just keep going, keep pushing through it. You gotta forget about, the last at bat and just like learn from it and just keep going. Because as soon as you focus on the negative, you're just gonna keep focusing on the negative and
Yeah.
it's gonna lead you down a wrong path. So honestly, like the biggest thing is just like staying positive and
Mhm.
but like learning from your at bats.
Yeah.
And if you can combine those two, then you'll be good.
Now, here's another little interesting clip from the podcast where I asked Cole to sort of describe him as a young player in his own words. Here's how he describes himself. Lefty stick. I want to start talking about the player Cole Young a little bit. A lefty stick. What's your height and weight?
So I'm like 5'11" and a half, 6 foot. So I just say 6 foot. I'm weighing in around like 195.
Okay. All right. So this is one of the reasons I love baseball, because that height and weight, nobody would call a freak of nature. I mean, the NBA, if you go watch those guys, they're freaks. I mean, I hate to say it, but they're just body types you just don't see on every street corner. Same with NFL players, but baseball players, if you're a kid out there, and you're 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 6 foot, you can play baseball at the highest levels. Cole Young, first round pick. So, that's pretty awesome. The freaks of nature, height and weight, we can't do anything about that. Like nobody can, well, weight maybe, but you can't take a pill and grow 3 inches. If you could, I would have already taken that, because I always wanted to be 6'3" and I'm only 6 foot. So, but the one thing I will say about you, Cole, and I'm going to embarrass you on this one, you might be a freak of nature when it comes to hand-eye skills, because I can remember as a young kid watching you hit, and nobody put the barrel on the ball like you did. And you probably remember, maybe you tried to forget. I used to use you as an example in BP all the time. I'd say, you guys want to see what, I think I probably said Division I BP is supposed to look like. I could have said, you want to see what Major League BP is supposed to look like? Here, watch Cole, because you had the ability to put the ball anywhere you wanted it. So I wanted to just talk about that for a minute. Did you even recognize, when you look back, did you even recognize that you could do that so easily?
Um, I I honestly I don't remember, but I just remember growing up as a kid just wanting to hit the ball the other way, and I think that's really important. I think a lot of kids they get in the cage or they get on field and they just want to pull the ball and hit home runs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, as soon as you get to this level, like you'll realize that if you can't hit the ball the other way, then it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, like growing up as a kid, I would hit the ball the other way. a lot, especially in BP, just warming up, hit the ball the other way. It's really important.
That's a great tip for every kid out there listening. And again, I remember you doing it effortlessly. And again, not taking it, I mean, you have natural ability, talent. I always say talent is what God gave you. Skills are what you did with the talent that God gave you. And God certainly blessed you with incredible skills, not just hitting, but you're a shortstop, fielding. I mean, were you a kid that took thousands of ground balls to hone in on your fielding skills? How did you get so good at fielding?
I would always throw the ball against the wall. Just like I would go outside, throw the ball against the wall. I mean, growing up, I didn't take like 1,000 ground balls,
Okay.
but like I would just, just have fun with it. Just throw the ball against the wall and play wall ball. I don't know, just like maybe just work on backhands during wall ball or just something just like nice and simple and fun. And it really goes a long way.
Now, in this clip of the podcast, I asked Cole about his parents with you now, because we've got parents listening, we got players listening, we got coaches listening, and parents in today's culture of youth sports are really, really involved in their athletes, and sometimes to a fault. And I've been involved in travel baseball for almost 2 decades, and I've seen a lot. So I had the pleasure of knowing both of your parents and watching them in action. So I could give a glowing endorsement to your parents, but I'd like to hear it in your words. What was your, youth sports experience relating to your parents?
I would say like my dad's approach to travel baseball is a lot different than my mom's. I mean, I think like it was just like really different for my dad because like my younger brother or my older brother didn't really go through it. So like my dad, he didn't play baseball like at a very high level, so he had no idea what to expect. And I mean, I think he took it like pretty serious. Like, I mean, but he just wanted the best for me. But yeah, I mean, like he would always try to help me out. He would always try to just, he'd always video me and like have me look at my swing and stuff. I mean, I think that helped a lot. But yeah, he really cared. But yeah, I mean, he just wanted me to get better. And then like for my mom, like she was just really supportive. She just wanted me to have fun, go out there, have fun, and like she would never talk about the games or anything. So I kind of got like a mix of both sides of of like how to approach this thing. But yeah, honestly, like my dad is like super into it kind of, and then my mom was more like laid back and just have fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, they both like really cared about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously I had the perspective of the coach, and I know exactly what you're talking about. The one thing that I think is a common denominator among almost every elite level player is they had to survive that. I mean, there are kids that don't survive youth sports. The drop-off rate is incredible. I mean, it's like some crazy stat, like after 13, how many kids drop out, because I think, and a lot of people I think agree with me, it's the pressure of their parents that they just can't, it's not fun anymore. So, you went all the way through, and then obviously at a high level, and your parents did a great job. I had firsthand experience in knowing that. So the parents listening out there, people are going to have different personalities. I shouldn't even say, some dads are more intense, some moms are more intense, but that balance you're talking about, probably helped you, because you got different things from different people. So pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, like I remember like, yeah, even like when I was 12, 13, like it was pretty tough because like just like a normal 12-year-old, you just want to have fun with baseball. Like you don't want to think about, I don't know, I think so many parents like kind of obsessed with it, and like it just puts so much pressure on the kid, and they just don't really know how to deal with it because they're 12 or 13. And yeah, I've been in those shoes. Like I thought, playing a 12U game was like the craziest thing in the world, and like there's so much pressure because it's like travel baseball. But I mean, it's honestly like if you think it's like the craziest game in the world, like it's really not. and like no one really cares about like a random 12U game. And honestly, just have fun, and like that was the biggest thing. And like I didn't really realize that like that was that really important until like probably like 15U. It's just have fun, and like it's really not that big of a deal, especially 12 years old.
Now, obviously, I had firsthand experience because I worked with both of his parents. Great people. But as Cole says in this clip, his parents were very different. And if you're a parent watching this, a lot of times dads are very different about this journey as mums are. It's perfectly normal and natural. But he has total respect for both of his parents, loving relationships, and, you know, a lot of respect built into the relationship. So if you're a player watching this, I can tell you firsthand that Cole was always very respectful of his parents. He listened to them. He listened to his coaches. He never gave us a hard time, never had bad body language, none of that. He managed all of that, which is probably why he's part of the reason he's still playing, because you have to learn to manage that. So listen to this little clip here.
I just go day by day, and just honestly just staying in the moment and just getting better every day, because that's the only thing I can control. Honestly, and I'm still trying to get stronger. I'm still trying to get more athletic. Yeah. Yeah, just get better every day, and just I don't really think about anything in the future, because I don't think that's good to do. Honestly, just staying in the moment is the most important thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, my main goal is to just get better every day.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. You know, this is a kid that did it right from a very, very early age all the way through into the minor leagues, onto the major leagues. I think he's going to have an amazing career in the major leagues, and I think he's going to be a great role model for a lot of you young players. So let's all make sure we're cheering on Cole Young, and I'll get him on another podcast at some point and we'll get some updates. But he's a great kid with a bright future, and he's going to set a great example for you young guys. So until the next video, God bless.
I meant to tell you this earlier, but I'm really proud of what you've done, how far you've come. Just take that to Seattle tomorrow, okay?
Where?
Seattle.
When?
Right, tomorrow. So you're done. You're not playing anymore this game. You're going to go play for Seattle. All right? Congratulations. Hey.
Thank you.
Come on, kid. I got to go to work.
Pack, left field.
Huh?
Left field.
Go left field.
Second base.
Oh, no. Shoot down, goes to center.
My dog. My dog. I don't know what to do right now, dude. It does.
Moms, dads, Coach Mark here. Did you know that there was more help available to you? It's true. Now, we love doing our YouTube videos. We're going to continue to do them. And please, by the way, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit some comments, get engaged with us. That helps build our YouTube channel so we can continue providing this free content. But in addition to that, you may not know about the Ambassadors Group. That is the consulting company that I formed specifically to get intimately involved with certain families, players, to help them all the way through the journey of youth sports. We're starting with kids as early as 10 and 11 years old. Now, I know all the haters out there are going to say, what are you doing with 10-year-olds? You know what? We're preparing these kids for the journey ahead. There's a big journey coming, and those that are prepared for it are going to do fine. Those that are unaware of what it's all about are going to really struggle in today's uber competitive environment. And parents, there's no guidebook of how to do this. Youth sports is a phenomenon. When I was a kid, there was no parent involvement. But now, as you know, you're very involved. So we're helping guide parents through this journey. There's a lot of things coming your way. If you have help, they can go smoothly, but if you don't and you wing it on your own, it can be a disaster. Okay, I can't get into all the details now, but trust me, in 20 years, I've seen a lot of people blow it because they just didn't know what they were doing, okay? Not trying to fearmonger you. I'm trying to help you understand it's hard to get to the next level. 97% of high school players will never play Division I baseball. 93% will never play any college baseball. Those are the stats, okay? Pretty sobering. But here's another stat for you. Nearly 100% of our clients are moving on to the next level. And you might say, how is that possible? Here's how. We are very selective with who we choose to work with, okay? We're also very specific on what needs to happen. We have a game plan. We execute the plan. We make adjustments along the way because there are things that happen that we can't foresee. We're good at making adjustments. And then when the time comes, we have a database full of college coaches that are supporting us. Because think about it, if you're a college coach, wouldn't you love a program that is actually grooming kids with integrity, with commitment, with goal setting, with attitude, with respect, with community outreach, being a great teammate? I mean, I could go on and on of the things that we're doing with our clients to help prepare them for these guys at the next level. So, if that sounds interesting to you, here's what you need to do. Fill out the little form down below. Answer a couple simple questions, and if we think you qualify, we're going to get back in touch with you. We're going to set up a private consultation just for you, and we'll talk about your son. We'll talk about the plan that he could have, and we'll find out if this makes sense that we work together. That's the Ambassadors Group. So I hope to talk to you soon.